run and check on the meat real quick.
Is that the one?
Big turbo.
What size is the turbo?
GTX 4508R, 80 millimeter, second generation. Ignition. People are going to know how to steal my car now.
Well, I mean, you know, let them try.
Ignition.
Uh-huh. Okay, so we got race pack.
You want fuel. If you want to turn it over with no fuel injectors,
Yes.
leave that off.
Oh, okay, so that's power to the fuel injectors.
Power to the fuel injectors and O2 sensor.
Okay.
But some, I got to check that. Fan.
Okay.
Or through the ECU. Transmission fan. It's
Okay.
not connected yet. Here. And taillights, they're not connected yet. And I have a couple extras.
Gotcha. Sweet. So we're just running through some of the outputs on the car. Found a couple wiring issues. Now we're getting ready to check everything again. Found a couple things disconnected. Now we're gonna go through the Fueltech and do a output test, see if we got spark and fuel, and then we're gonna try and crank it up. So stick around.
The injectors A go on the front side, and the injectors B go underneath. These ones go underneath. These are B.
Yeah, the air intakes on that one.
So these are going like this. Under in that hole right there. Right here. This hole. Oh, I heard it. See, I didn't get any of that last time.
So is that one primary?
This
Which
one.
one's primary?
A. That's one. You're right now. This one. Yep. Yep.
So fuel injector 1.
Oh, I heard it. See, I didn't get any of that last time.
Ah, that makes sense. So is that one primary? Which
one.
one's primary?
A. That's the one. You're right now. This one. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. 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 I wasn't getting any of that when I tested those.
Okay, so secondary?
Wait a minute. Where was that? What number was that?
1, secondary. So cylinder 3?
Yep. Okay. That belt isn't moving any. It's staying in the Still super fat. What does the nano say?
What are we in, Lambda?
Now says nub needs another beer.
Okay, good call. Let's find out. Okay, I'm going to crank this with no power things. No,
Clear it out a little bit.
yeah.
That's very good, Aaron.
It might fire up.
It won't do anything without a coil, and the coil's on the injector circuit.
Okay, fine.
I can bypass that by pulling the fuse for the injectors themselves. No, because it's the output of the injector's coil.
Those should be separate some way. I mean, like just as a rule, I think. I feel like, but let's see.
Oh, Jesus Christ, you blew me in the nuts!
God damn, I hope that's on fucking camera.
Damn it. Dude, the fucking fire hit me in the nuts. Well, right between the nuts and the knees. And I think it blew my right eardrum out.
What?
Fucking half deaf.
I hope that camera saw that fireball. Oh, I might have been standing right in the way.
Oh, it's on.
Still too much fuel.
Be a good idle, huh?
Well, yeah. We don't know what it wants.
Good point. She wants it all. Give it to her.
Yeah, well, we figured that out with Ryan's, that it was moving, and so now it's like basically wide open. But I mean, as far as it can go on that deal.
I got lots of room left.
What was moving? The actual or electric?
The actual. 'Cause that thing vibrates so bad,
Oh.
I mean, it shakes everything loose.
Gotcha.
It's just
Did
still-
you reset the throttle position sensor?
Yeah, but it's still just big rich, so.
More? One little more? Another quarter? Oh yeah?
Sure, why not?
Like, get you. Still big.
I'm just cutting 20% at a time. I'm only seeing 16 pounds of oil pressure, and I don't think we're running on all 4 cylinders. I think we're running on like 3. So we should pull the plugs and clean them, and then start over, or put a fresh set in. This sounds like 3 cylinders to me.
Okay.
We continued troubleshooting for quite a few hours, only to find out that 2 coils weren't connected inside the software and had error messages. We reached out to the Fueltech Facebook group and got some decent responses. One of the guys actually called us, and we were able to figure out that we needed to rebuild the tune from scratch. I had to build a brand new tune from scratch, and as soon as we did that, it fired right up.
Imagine that. Imagine that.
So now that we finally got the car running, we have time to talk about it a little bit. So tell me what the car is, what the power plant is, and what the goals are for the car.
Just like the other car, it's an Audi Coupe Quattro, 1990. Not very many of them in the U.S. It's got
Don't worry.
it's a 2-liter 20-valve stroker motor, all integrated engineering stuff inside. It's going to have a turbo 400 behind it and the precision performance air shifted setup. Big turbo.
What size is the turbo?
GTX 4508R 80 millimeter second generation.
Do you think you could get a bigger one, or is that pretty much it?
I could find an 88 millimeter turbo that'll run a T4 flange, but I think we're going to be fine with this one.
Sure. How many pounds of boost are you planning on running?
50 plus, whatever it takes to make the goals.
Okay. And so what's the goal for the car eventually?
The ultimate goals, my idea of the ultimate goal is somewhere in the 780s in the
Okay.
quarter mile, 175, 180 miles an hour, somewhere in there.
Gotcha. I don't think that'll be a problem. And who built the car?
I built the car. I started out with having the chassis start at a real chassis shop, Vanderbeek Race Cars in Salem. And to start off with, I was just clearing parts of the body out in their way, in prep for them to do their thing, and it just evolved into basically a mentorship, and he would tell me what to do next, and then I would make this tube, make that tube, and bend this piece of tin. I never did any of the welding because I don't TIG weld chromoly, but
So it is a chromoly chassis then?
full 25-1 spec chromoly top sportsman door car chassis.
So for people who don't know, what does 25-1 mean as far as like how fast is the car legal to go?
Anything faster or anything quicker than 7.49 seconds in a quarter mile.
Okay. So it'll go, it's sorted to like 6.0?
Yep.
Yeah. And so what size tire is it planning on running?
Right now, the training wheels on it, the ones we're going to break the chassis in and see how it drives, are it's a 315/60/15, which is a 30-inch tall, 13.5-inch wide tire. But the tires that it was built to run eventually are either a 32/14 big tire or a 33 10.5W Outlaw tire car.
Gotcha. So obviously it's still in, first startup mode, but I mean, you've had the body off and on and off how many times?
Can't count.
You're right. And so I know some of the stuff, but I mean, the body's been modified a bunch. Where's the front end's hanging up over there, right?
Yeah, out of the way.
Gotcha. So you got some dollar bills here on the on
Yeah.
the wing.
Yeah.
And speeding G60, that's just your handle?
Yep. The original car forms from back in the day.
Yeah, no, that's an interesting story that I mean to ask you about. So how many times have you been kicked off the VW Vortex forum?
More than 25. More than 25 screen names there. I gave up.
That's funny. So a lot of people, they don't know all the names, they don't know the technical names, but definitely a funny car cage.
Yep. This portion here is the funny car portion that you're needed to have to go faster or quicker than 850.
Can we lift the car up a little bit? I think this is the real art. Okay, so it looks like we got a nice big dry sump pump. And it's hard to get a good look at this thing, but it's just a work of art from underneath. And so this is a, what's the rear end?
It's a Ford 9-inch rear end. I narrowed it. It's got a 40 spline lightened spool in it. It's going to start with a 430 gear. It's narrowed. It's, the axles are rifle drilled, flange milled and profiled, lightened,
All the things.
everything.
So as far as you're saying, so how wide is this, how much wider will the tire be than this one? So if this is what, 12-inch wide, something like that?
This is 13.5, and the next one comes all the way into here on a 15-inch wide rim.
Wow.
Yeah, 8 years.
Oh, there they are.
How many tractions? All of them.
All the traction. Well, that's super fun. I mean, today we had kind of a hard day getting the thing going. I got here about 9:30 this morning, and it's coming up on, what time is it?
7 o'clock.
7 o'clock. So we put in a solid day.
7:30.
7:30. So we put in a solid day getting this thing going. It's far from being done and far from making passes, but like Aaron said, it's been built all basically by himself with some help from a lot of people. And you know, we're firm believers that it takes a village to raise a race car, and we got a pretty good village working around us. So hopefully you like the video. If you do, go ahead and subscribe, and if not, that's fine too. So I don't know, I think that's all I got. It's really an honor and a privilege to have people trust me with their things and invite me to their homes and have work on it, let me work on their stuff. Like I said, it takes a village to raise a race car, and all of this has been happening because of drag racing. You know, I decided to go drag racing and kept coming around and kept meeting people and decided to push myself and learn more and more. And so it's got to the point where I get to be around this stuff all the time, and it's really my happy place. So I'm super excited to see this build push forward. And Aaron's one of the people where I show up and he's got food in the fridge, or he's got drinks in the fridge and food on the grill, and he shows up ready. You know, I pulled up to the house, he's already in the shop working. It's not a bunch of messing around, and we're here to get things done. So it took a little bit longer than we expected, but we're still having a great time. So we're going to keep at it and hope you guys follow along. All right.